Story 1. Do you mean athletic muscular or gym rat muscular? Both can be absolutely as attractive as any non-muscular lady in the short term. The main issue with gym rat ladies is the same as with gym rat guys. Bodybuilding is an engaged hobby that takes a lot of time and affects many other aspects of their lives outside the gym, often so much that it is a detriment to any long-term relationship unless you also happen to be a gym rat. Story 2. Not particularly different from opinions about non-muscular girls. It always depends on the individual. Generally speaking, if she is sporty or toned, I do not mind that. In fact, I admire the discipline, consistency, and commitment to a healthy lifestyle. However, if she is using performance-enhancing substances or bodybuilding to an extreme, that is not for me personally. Regarding specific features, if she has broad shoulders like someone who lives in the gym and competes on stage or biceps like Arnold Schwarzenegger, it will be a no for me. An impressed no. But a no nonetheless. If she has large thighs but maintains parts of what is considered a feminine shape, I am more accepting. Story 3. I dislike the muscular, bodybuilding look on both genders. I want to be strong but cuddly, and I want my husband to be the same. Story 4. Love it as long as it is natural. I do not understand the sentiment about it being unfeminine or unattractive. Story 5. Fit and healthy looking is beautiful. If they are unnaturally lean or excessively muscular to the point of suspected steroid use, that is a turnoff. Story 6. If it is fit, I think it is hot, but if it is a muscular gym enthusiast, I do not like it. Just a personal taste though. Story 7. I think as a class muscular women are admirable since it goes against prevailing stereotypes about femininity as physically soft or weak in a very visible way. As a weightlifter and someone with knowledge of bodybuilding, I understand the consistent effort it takes to develop hypertrophy, and I have a lot of respect for that. Story 8. I think the stigma that muscular girls are unattractive is starting to go away, thankfully. We have terms like muscle mommy now. Personally, I think it is very attractive. Story 9. Nice place to visit, but I would not want to live there. I had a brief relationship with a woman who had a six-pack. While I was excited for the opportunity, it turned me off almost immediately when my hand went across her stomach. She was very pretty, and we got along great, but there was something that really killed the mood because her stomach was harder than mine. I could not get past it in my head. Story 10. If they are on steroids to achieve it unnaturally, no thanks. It causes a range of health issues, and increased testosterone levels do strange things to their bodies, such as turning their clitoris into micropenises. Not for me. But if they are ripped and muscular through other natural means, then awesome. Story 11. It depends on what you mean. Athletic and toned can be attractive, but when someone starts developing large arms and defined abdominal muscles, it may not be appealing to everyone. A slight tone, where light lines are visible on the stomach, is considered attractive. Story 12. I respect anyone who puts time and effort into maintaining their body. I dabble with going to the gym and struggle to push myself. I don't think a muscular physique should be considered exclusively masculine. Muscular women can be as feminine and beautiful as non-muscular women. I try not to fetishize people who don't want to be, but I do like the idea of being with a woman stronger than myself. That said, my opinion on overly muscular people is that I find it unnatural when they are too ripped, such as oiled up with skin nearly tearing on stage. There is a cutoff point for me where it becomes too much. However, people shouldn't be beholden to my view. I will not say anything negative unless explicitly asked. Story 13. If you look at female boxers or Ultimate Fighting Championship fighters, they are not massive and that physique is fine. Ronda Rousey is very fit. If you are talking about enhanced women, I would not find them attractive at all, like in Miss Universe bodybuilding events. It is just not natural. Story 14. I have no real opinion on their appearance. However, a heavy training regimen and a strict diet would strain any relationship unless both people are committed. Additionally, behavior and attitude matter more than looks to me. Story 15. Not my thing. Power to them, good for anyone able to really get in shape. It takes dedication and routine to do it. Do I want an overly muscular girlfriend? No, not what I want around my arm. Story 16. Fit or muscular as in bodybuilder types. I like the fit yoga enthusiasts, but overly muscular is not my particular preference. Story 17. I prefer toned and trained girls over non-trained girls, and I tend to respect them more because being toned requires discipline and commitment. Now, bodybuilding girls I do not like, but I do not like male bodybuilders' bodies either. Story 18. Not personally my taste, but I respect them for their hard work. The ring or octagon girl aesthetic is more attractive to me when we are talking about looks. Story 19. As with all things, it depends. If they look like Nicole Bass in her heyday, probably not my personal preference. If they look like an aerobics fitness model, then that is great. Either way, my feelings about how somebody looks are pretty irrelevant. They should look however makes them feel good. Story 20. Not really into it. I just don't think it's appealing, and I find it to be the opposite of feminine, which is what I'm attracted to. But if it's a girl who can excel and still look feminine, that's another story, and I'd find that very attractive. Story 21. This is a bad question. Some people envision steroid-enhanced girls who are about as attractive as steroid-enhanced boys. Others are thinking of more fitness-oriented girls or anything in between. Story 22. I dated a muscular woman who was very beautiful. She was sharp in every way except her chest, but her butt was remarkable. Story 23. I generally prefer athletic over waifish or buxom, but the professional bodybuilding physique is well beyond what I personally find attractive. Story 24. I personally think muscular women are sexy and strong. If I see a woman who looks like she could lift me up, I am both impressed and smitten. Story 25. I have a friend who is a fitness athlete and she is a goddess. Tall with long black hair and blue eyes. She looks like Wonder Woman. I admire muscular women and all women in all shapes and sizes. We rule. Story 26. I find bodybuilding physiques a bit much for both genders. They just look like action figures and plastic to me. But a fairly fit girl with abs and muscles? Absolutely. Story 27. Impressive what anabolic steroids can do. People have their hobbies, I guess. I find them just as strange and unattractive as the men who alter their bodies in that way. Give me lean, toned, and athletic any day of the week for all genders. Anabolic steroids disgust me. Story 28. A woman with abdominal muscles is very attractive to me. From a non-sexual standpoint, I support anyone getting in good shape, especially if it is for martial arts training. Everyone should know some self-defense. Story 29. As long as they are not using any performance-enhancing drugs, it is a turn-on. When steroids and similar substances are involved, women can start to become less attractive. Story 30. I am not into it. I do not find visible muscles on a woman particularly attractive, and I would much prefer a woman with a softer body when I touch her, compared to someone who is hard. Story 31. It may seem cliché, but appearance really is secondary to character. If a woman is kind, gentle, respectful, wise, tactful, and so on, then she can be a bodybuilder, thick, skinny, short, or tall, and she would still be attractive to me. It seems like these kinds of women are getting harder to find. Her actually being a woman is also a prerequisite. But that is about to get me in trouble. Story 32. Hot as hell. Although with both men and women, there is a line where too much muscle makes someone completely unappealing. But like Rhea Ripley type jacked? Jade Cargill? Absolutely. Story 33. It depends on how muscular. Fit, healthy, and not Arnold Schwarzenegger big is attractive. Arnold Schwarzenegger with a ponytail is not attractive. Story 34. I would love a woman who could toss me around like a ball of pizza dough. Yes, I will give it a shot. Story 35. Men say women with muscular builds look like men. What do we say about men who do not have muscular builds? Story 36. Throw me over your shoulder and carry me to Valhalla, or whatever manner of the afterlife you believe in, you goddess. Story 37. Outward signals indicate they are likely confident and sold. Confidence is the most attractive of all personality traits. Story 38. As long as they are not using performance-enhancing drugs, they usually look great, but the breasts start to look square and it goes downhill from there. Story 39. I would make a play for Vasquez from Alien circa mid-1980s. I do not care if she kills me. Story 40. If it is muscle built the natural way, I am really happy for them because they are protecting their bones and extending their longevity. Story 41. It depends on how much. Someone who is lean and in good shape can look great. You can have some visible muscles, even a six-pack, with no issue. If you go extremely buff like a bodybuilder, I am personally not into it. It starts to look like a guy. Story 42. I have always appreciated skinny, fit girls, as well as girls who go to the gym frequently but do not use supplements like Hannah Barron and Sarah Safari. If you want to build more muscle, do not let anyone stop you. Story 43. My wife was a swimmer in high school and college and had muscular legs and shoulders. She had a six-pack. Even 18 years later, after having 3 children, she is in great shape and still has abdominal muscles and nice legs. Story 44. Same for all other girls. These just happen to work out. If I find her attractive, I will shoot my shot. If not, I keep it moving. I definitely do not disrespect like I have seen others do who feel the need to announce to the world what these ladies are or are not supposed to look like. Specifically for the bodybuilding types, I respect the work it takes to get there, regardless of the performance-enhancing drugs. Story 45. If they are happy, I am happy. I think there is a fine line for both men and women between being overly muscular and being really athletic and fit. Being really athletic and fit can be as unappealing as anything else. I believe women, like men, are more than the sum of their parts. That said, I appreciate the time and dedication it takes to maintain a fit body. I wish I had that dedication. Story 46. I don't think I could do that romantically. I know it's a personal issue, but I wouldn't want to date a woman who is physically stronger in the gym. I love petite women because I like to feel like I'm the one protecting her. Story 47. Their body, their choice. If you do not like it, then move along. Saying anything negative is body shaming. Story 48. My ex-wife was in the bodybuilding world. She scared me while also turning me on every time I saw a vein throb, and I was very obedient. That's all I have, folks. I will say I prefer softer women. I want to lay my head on a pillowy stomach or breasts, not on a pavement. That is exactly what abdominal muscles feel like. Story 49. I cannot say I like the hyper-shredded CrossFit or bodybuilder look on a woman, but if that is what they want their body to look like, then that is all good, of course. Story 50. Not my type physically, but their drive and determination, and many I have interacted with have personalities ranging from fun and engaging to attractive. Story 51. They are usually attractive. However, just as many girls think muscles can be too much on guys, guys can also think it is too much on girls. In general, it is attractive. Story 52. They are amazing. I understand how incredibly difficult it is to figure out what to do in the gym, determine proper nutrition, find the time to go, and actually stick with it for an extended period until you see results. It requires admirable discipline and dedication. However, I am not sexually attracted to them. Story 53. Depends on the person. Some people look good with tattoos, some do not. The same applies to muscular body types. Katie O'Brien, Jade Cargill, Summer Rae, very attractive women. Story 54. Gym girls are very attractive. Being strong and having an athletic body is appealing. If we are talking about builds like Lean Beef Patty, Sunita Greca, Francesca Martinez, Sophia Rose, and their influencer style, then absolutely. These women are all very fit with different levels of muscularity, but ultimately attainable and a body you could find without major enhancements and definitely not to a professional competitor physique level. If we are talking about the Professional International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness level, then that is a little too much. However, I would also argue it is the same for the men. The spectacle of that type of body at the Professional International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness level is inspiring and truly a feat of dedication and time, but I would not say I am attracted to that. Story 55. You do not have to be muscular, but women with no muscle tone or who are thin but soft and have never worked out do not appeal to me. They look great now, but they will be the first to see their bodies lose definition. Story 56. Highly admirable and often beautiful. Muscles on a woman are attractive. Big muscles can also be attractive, and the dedication to the craft is usually the most appealing aspect. However, steroid-using women are a different story. I still admire the dedication, but I am not a fan of steroid use for men or women in bodybuilding. I dislike how size has taken over aesthetics as the dominant feature of the sport. My biggest pet peeve is that when you say muscular women, that is the first thing people think of. It is either you are a toned gym enthusiast or a steroid-enhanced size queen, and most people do not imagine an in-between. This is unfortunate because that is the true sweet spot. Story 57. Not for me, but good for them. I worked with a woman who competed in the bodybuilding world championships for women for a few years before she quit. I was amazed by her dedication and commitment to it. She was a fun person as well, but I definitely do not see the attraction in it. Story 58. If they are also fairly lean, it is extremely attractive. My personal preference only, obviously. I have been a gym rat for decades myself, though. Everyone seems to be at least a little hardwired to have differences in what they are attracted to, and thank goodness for that. I do not think you can apply social engineering or political correctness to actual attraction. My idea of beauty was probably formed back in the 70s. Story 59. Don't mind them, but I'm naturally stocky and muscular too, so it matches. It would probably feel a bit odd if I were severely scrawny or overweight, to be honest. Story 60. I respect what they do, and it does not affect anyone, so if it makes them happy, then I think it is great. From a dating perspective, I do not usually find them attractive, except for a few I have seen, and I usually do not go for them. So far, no muscular woman has shown interest in me, but I do not rule out anyone on that basis. If I connect with a muscular woman and we have chemistry, then we could end up together. Story 61. I respect what they do, and it does not affect anyone, so if it makes them happy, then I think it is great. From a dating perspective, I do not usually find them attractive, except for a few I have seen, and I usually do not go for them. So far, no muscular girl has shown interest in me, but I do not rule out anyone on that basis. If I connect with a muscular girl and we have chemistry, then we could end up together. Story 62. I like my women big and strong, built to handle challenges. Unfortunately, modern men have more commonly adopted that physique. Story 63. Muscular, tall, short, or otherwise, it all comes down to one simple thing I want from a lady: being nice. If she is nice, I do not care about anything else. Story 64. Most men cannot naturally get muscular. Trust me, they are trying. Girls do not need to worry about accidentally getting huge muscles. Story 65. All I want to do is help you turn into a giant woman. A giant woman. Story 66. Step on me, mommy. In all seriousness, there are extremes, and the extremes of muscularity in both males and females I find unattractive. But my girlfriend and I have been doing a lot of CrossFit since the start of this year, and seeing her abs and lats start to develop has awakened feelings in me. A solid athletic look is attractive, and if anyone says that lean beef patty has taken it too far, I will defend her. Story 67. Super sexy. As long as they do not have that dehydrated bodybuilder look and still have feminine facial features. But abs, big biceps, and powerful tree trunk legs on a woman can be attractive. I am not attracted to all muscular women, though, but the ones I do find attractive are out of this world to me. Story 68. Phenomenal as long as they are not using steroids or bulking up like a giant. I find them particularly attractive in Victorian clothing. Story 69. Like all questions of attraction, it is on a case-by-case basis. Generally, I do not like the tanned and dehydrated competition look, but on somebody properly hydrated, I am intrigued. Story 70. Depends on what your question is regarding. On an attraction level, it is different than on an admiration level. Attraction level is indifferent. Muscles do not do it for me. However, it is not a deal breaker or anything, it just does nothing to add to the attraction level. However, she put a lot of hard work into it. I truly admire a woman who values dedication and health. Story 71. People can do what they are passionate about, And if they love training their physique to be like that, good for them. As a personal preference, I do not find them attractive, but again, it is their choice. Story 72. Muscle mommies are all good. I just don't see the appeal when they attempt to use steroids and bulk up beyond recognition. That is when I think it goes too far. Story 73. The term I have seen is muscle mommies. Not my type, but what does not work for me works for others. I wish them luck. Story 74. The house was built in 1898 and has undergone several renovations over the years. Situated in a quiet neighborhood, it features 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a spacious living area. The kitchen has been modernized with new appliances and granite countertops. Large windows allow for plenty of natural light, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. The backyard includes a patio perfect for outdoor dining and entertaining guests. Nearby schools and parks make it an excellent choice for families. Story 75. The same as muscular individuals, if you have a healthy-looking build, I will celebrate your hard work. If you are excessively muscular, I will tell you it is unappealing and never talk to me or my son again. Story 76. As far as dating or having a relationship with them, it is sort of hard to get past because I am not attracted to really muscular people. If they were a friend or a random person, I would say, go ahead and do your thing. Story 77. Yes, muscle dummy mommy. Bodybuilders in competition form look unusual, but that is also true for men. Outside competition, even female bodybuilders are usually attractive. Story 78. Big fan, but I am insecure, so I need to be equally strong, or we need to be in a straightforward, non-competitive kind of relationship. Story 79. I love it as long as they are natural and their body fat is not so low that you can see muscle striations. Muscles are great as long as the curves are still soft. Story 80. Love it. I am a muscular guy. I do not care to be dominated. But I really appreciate people who work hard and look good. Story 81. My ex was in the Commonwealth Games for Team Great Britain in athletics. She had 6-pack abs, broad shoulders, strong triceps, and the biggest quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes I had ever seen on a girl. Perfect. Except when it came to sex. Her pelvic floor was so tight that it actually hurt to have intercourse with her, especially in any position other than missionary. She told me she could experience a coregasm, which is an orgasm from doing core exercises like crunches, and would often have to train privately as a result. So yeah, good to look at, not so great in the bedroom. Story 82. Exactly how I feel about muscular boys. If it makes you happy, do it. We might not be so well adjusted to it being a societal beauty norm associated with females like it is with males. But anything that's done to stay fit is great. Story 83. Every extremely muscular female bodybuilder I know has severe mental health challenges or unresolved parental issues. They can be somewhat attractive if they are not excessively large, but they often display unusual behavior. Story 84. I prefer feminine women, the way they behave and their personalities. I have met women who do yoga and Pilates, and they are by far more feminine. A good mixture is also great. I love the muscular look on women, but they're always challenging and argumentative personalities, and narcissistic behavior make them insufferable. Story 85. Love them. There is absolutely nothing wrong with strength, being strong, or the dedication needed to achieve those things, on top of all the other social and biological challenges women face. It is truly admirable, which amazes me every single time. Story 86. I respect it greatly, first of all. Second, I definitely find them attractive. I am quite fit myself. Story 87. I am a gym enthusiast, and I prefer softer women. However, women in the bodybuilding sections of the gym are usually there for 2 reasons nowadays: thighs and glutes. Story 88. I think it is great if they want to get muscular, and I will support their choice. However, I do not find having a lot of big muscles very attractive. The same goes for myself. I do not find the idea of having big muscles appealing. Overall, having lots of muscles is not attractive to me. Story 89. Love them, muscle mommies for the win. My wife works out regularly but also has nice curves, and it all combines to make an incredibly sexy woman. Girls, don't be afraid of adding a few pounds of muscle. It is very attractive. Story 90. If she is in show shape, not really. That looks a bit grotesque to me, male or female, particularly when they wear unnatural skin bronzers. However, someone who is simply fit and muscular can definitely be sexy. Story 91. Good for them for being able to do it, but if I want to date someone, I want them to be soft and squishy. Story 92. It depends on where she is on the fitness or physique scale. A woman with a tight, muscular frame? Definitely. A woman who looks like a bodybuilder? That is a negative ghost rider. Story 93. My girlfriend is very attractive with well-defined back and shoulders. She has great muscle development, yet remains feminine and sexy. I consider myself very lucky. She has excellent genetics. Story 94. In my opinion, I think it is unattractive. I have never liked people with muscles and do not see the beauty in that. This is my opinion. Story 95. A friend of mine is getting into female bodybuilding, but nothing excessive, just very toned and disciplined. She looks incredible and I am quite envious. Story 96. I don't like it. I never liked it. They get this broad back and shoulders. The girls with smaller breasts start to look like they have pectoral muscles versus breasts in sports bras. Their buttocks are firm. There is no jiggle or softness to hold on to. A slim, toned woman is fine, but muscular is not something I want to be with. Story 97. Depends. I think most people are attracted to fit partners. The steroid bodybuilder look is unattractive to me, for both men and women. Some form of enhanced physique can still look great, for example, Chris Hemsworth for men, that's a good look, but you can't convince me he is natural. As always, some will find it attractive. Others will not. Do what makes you happy. Generally, a healthy lifestyle is good for you, so find balance with that. Story 98. It kind of depends on how muscular you are and if it suits you. Some people pull off the very muscular look well, while others are more suited to a well-toned appearance, and for some, the cut look is best. Story 99. I am deeply attracted to them. As long as they are all natural, I can hardly control my attraction to them. Story 100. So we are talking about opinions and not preferences, right? Good, this is less chaotic, and here are my opinions on what they are. Athletic muscular. They seem to be training for typical sports or improving their performance. Weightlifting muscular. They compete in heavy lifting and want to develop bodies that promote power. Bodybuilder muscular. They may or may not be borderline steroid users and might become influencers or competitors. Story 101. Physically fit is awesome. Even a junker queen build is nice, but I don't like them looking too buff. Just my preference. Story 102. Muscular women are very attractive. I aspire to be one myself someday. As many others have said, I believe there is such a thing as too muscular, but not in general. Everyone should have as much muscle as makes them happy. However, I do not find the bodybuilder body attractive on anyone. I think rock climbers have the ideal muscular build. I like women who have very toned and defined muscles but not massive ones. Women with a six-pack are very attractive as well. Story 103. Mild muscles are fine. Anything ripped or even extra muscular looks somewhat unappealing, but it would not stop me from giving them a chance. Story 104. Not hot, and I do not see the point. They are girls with high testosterone. That is to a guy what a high estrogen guy is to a woman. Story 105. Toned, fit, and natural. Pretty attractive and impressive. Nature bodybuilder type. Not my preference, but impressive nonetheless. Steroid enhanced. Not attractive and less impressive. Basically, a Lara Croft type physique is attractive. Anything more is less so. Story 106. We need a reference for what we consider a muscular woman. People's idea of what a dead body is varies widely. Story 107. Better than the average woman who is overweight. It would be nice if more people prioritized their mental and physical health. Story 108. Muscular like that woman with the nice arms who chops wood in videos online? Yes. Muscular like the extreme bodybuilding types? No. But I am also a no on bodybuilder men, even though some prefer muscular men. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.